In the annals of history, few figures stand as tall as Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose vision stretched far beyond the limits of his time. He was a painter, an engineer, an inventor, an anatomist, and a scientist. His genius was so vast that even 500 years after his death, we are still trying to fully comprehend the depth of his brilliance. But what truly makes Leonardo extraordinary is how he saw the future, how he predicted and invented things centuries before they became reality. Today, we'll take you through 6 key ways that Leonardo da Vinci not only revolutionized his time but also foreshadowed the world we live in now. Da Vinci's anatomical discoveries. In the 15th century, the human body was still a mystery. But for da Vinci, it was an intricate machine waiting to be understood. He conducted over 30 dissections, illegally obtaining corpses to study their inner workings. Leonardo didn't just draw what he saw, he was the first to truly analyze how the body functioned. His sketches of the heart, for example, detailed how it pumped blood and worked as a 4-chambered muscle. He was the first to understand coronary artery disease, an insight physicians wouldn't grasp for another 150 years. Leonardo didn't limit his studies to the heart. His diagrams of muscles, bones, and even the human embryo were decades, even centuries, ahead of their time. For a man with no formal medical education, his contributions to anatomy remain some of the most extraordinary insights of the Renaissance. In a time when science and religion often clashed, Leonardo walked a fine line. But his unrelenting curiosity about the human body pushed the boundaries of what we knew, and what we were willing to know. The Last Supper, a mathematical masterpiece. Now, we move to one of Leonardo's most iconic works, The Last Supper. Painted in the late 1490s in Milan, this masterpiece was not just a depiction of Christ and his disciples. It was a mathematical puzzle waiting to be decoded by future generations. Da Vinci was a master of perspective, and in The Last Supper, he used geometry to direct the viewer's focus. All the lines in the painting converge at a single vanishing point, right behind Jesus' head. This clever use of perspective wasn't just about making the scene look realistic, it was about elevating the spiritual narrative. Art historians have noted how this focus on Jesus' head symbolized the divine, while the bustling figures of the disciples show the chaotic humanity surrounding him. Leonardo's genius was in making complex theology and philosophy accessible through art and mathematics. But as you look deeper, you realize it's not just a painting. It's a coded message that still fascinates mathematicians and art lovers today. Revolutionary painting techniques. Leonardo da Vinci was not just a painter but a chemist. He constantly experimented with pigments, materials, and new techniques. In his work on the Mona Lisa, for example, he perfected a method known as sfumato, where colors blend so seamlessly that the transitions are invisible to the naked eye. He created custom pigments with beeswax, which gave his paintings an unparalleled durability and richness. His use of oil paints, still relatively new at the time, allowed him to create subtle, lifelike textures in skin, fabric, and landscapes. But Da Vinci wasn't just creating beautiful art. He was using chemistry and optics to advance the entire field of painting. His scientific mind led him to explore how light reflects, how shadows blend, and how the human eye perceives depth, all through a brushstroke. He didn't just paint pictures. He painted the future of art. Leonardo's ingenious inventions. Da Vinci wasn't content with just excelling in art. His mind was also a playground for mechanical inventions. He envisioned machines that wouldn't be built for hundreds of years. In his famous notebooks, Da Vinci sketched a design for an aerial screw, a precursor to the modern helicopter. Although it was never built in his time, it shows an intuitive understanding of flight principles that would later be rediscovered by aviation pioneers. He also designed a parachute, which was successfully tested in 2,500 years after he first drew it. Leonardo's designs for war machines, including tanks and machine guns, were far ahead of the military technology of his time. But it wasn't just warfare that interested him. He also revolutionized civil engineering. His designs for canal locks, which were used to manage water flow in Venice and Milan, are still considered a breakthrough in hydraulic engineering. His waterway systems allowed cities to thrive and connected entire regions through intricate systems of canals. These inventions were not just theoretical, they were the seeds of the modern world. Da Vinci's astronomical discoveries. In a world where most people believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, Da Vinci's observations of the stars were revolutionary. He was one of the first people to correctly describe the phenomenon of earthshine, the faint glow that illuminates the dark part of a crescent moon, caused by sunlight reflecting off Earth. Leonardo's understanding of light and astronomy was far ahead of his time. In his notebooks, He wrote extensively about how light behaves when it hits different surfaces, and his drawings of the night sky show an awareness of planetary motion that predates the discoveries of Copernicus and Galileo. It's astonishing to think that in a world dominated by mysticism and superstition, Da Vinci was already laying the groundwork for modern astrophysics. Leonardo's notebooks. 7,000 pages of genius. Perhaps the most fascinating part of Leonardo's legacy is his collection of notebooks. Over 7,000 pages filled with sketches, ideas, inventions, and observations. What makes them even more intriguing is the fact that Leonardo wrote most of them backward, in mirror writing. Why? Scholars believe it was partly because he was left-handed and wanted to avoid smudging the ink. Others think it was a deliberate effort to keep his ideas secret from prying eyes. Inside these pages are ideas that remain undeciphered to this day. From architectural designs to mathematical formulas, the notebooks reveal the inner workings of one of the most brilliant minds in history. Yet, much of what Leonardo wrote about remains a mystery. An untapped reservoir of genius that could still hold secrets waiting to be unlocked. Da Vinci's enduring legacy. Leonardo da Vinci's impact on the world cannot be overstated. Whether through his groundbreaking art, his revolutionary anatomical studies, or his futuristic inventions, Da Vinci continues to inspire us 500 years later. His ability to bridge the worlds of art and science, of philosophy and engineering, remains unparalleled in history. But perhaps his greatest gift to humanity was his insatiable curiosity. His belief that there was always more to learn, more to discover. Leonardo's words, written so many centuries ago, still resonate today. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. As we continue to explore and unlock the mysteries of his work, we're reminded of the limitless potential of human creativity. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the mind of Leonardo da Vinci, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. There's so much more to explore about this Renaissance genius, and together we can uncover even more of the secrets he left behind.